Hey guys, this is Mike McCain, your math professor for this semester. This is Math 21A or Calculus 1. So I wanted to make this a video for you guys because this is a distance ed class. I know that we do meet on campus for a couple hours a week, but it's actually a distance ed class. It's not much time to meet with you guys. So I do want to have you guys watch this video in anticipation of what we're going to be doing for the semester. So make sure you watch this video by Monday night. All right, that would be tomorrow, right? Okay. All right, so I am in our Canvas homepage right now. So I first just wanted to mention a couple things, and then we'll jump into the syllabus. And actually, let me put the student view up. This is what you guys would see. Okay, let's close stuff up here. All right, so we right now are on the home page in Canvas. You see over here this bunch of tabs here. This first one right here is the home page. So if you click on it, we're still on the home page. Right when you log in, you're going to be um, defaulted right into this home page. All right. The nice thing about this is where you're going to find the bulk of the information you need for the course. This will be the most recent announcements. You'll have, we have our getting started module. I've asked you to work through here, your textbook here, some Wolfram Cloud stuff I'll be mentioning later. We've got all of our homework and our lectures there. We've got some resources for you guys down there and some stuff to help you prep for our exams. Okay. All right. So let's see. What can I say about this? Maybe we should come back to this. Let's go ahead and jump into the syllabus. Okay. All right. So I'm not going to discuss everything that you see because obviously you guys can read, but I did want to point out some of the important stuff. So as I said, this is Calculus 1. Our name for the course is V21A. Our CRN for the course is 72274. So whenever you're communicating with me via email or phone, make sure that you reference that CRN. I do teach multiple classes, so this will let me know which one you're in. All right, so let's talk about the important stuff. All right, this is a regular 17.5 week course. Uh, Again, this is a distance ed class. It's a hybrid version, so we're not fully face to face. We're kind of half half of our lecture time is kind of on campus and half of it is online. So it kind of complicates things because I can't lecture and all the material we have to get through in 2.5 hours. So we're gonna do something about that. I'll talk to you about that in just a second. In any case, we do meet for 2 hours and 15 minutes on Tuesdays, and these are required meetings. Uh, so make sure you show up to those every week. All right. There's only about 17 of them, 16 of them, something like that. But we're going to be doing lots of problems in there, and you're going to want to show up because we're going to be doing a lot of exam prep. In fact, that's pretty much what we're going to be doing every day is prepping for the exams. Now, our exams, we have two exams. One of them scheduled for Wednesday, October 9th at 6 p.m. So make sure you set some time aside for that. And our second exam is during finals week, Tuesday, December 10th at 10 a.m., our normal scheduled time. There's a few different ways to reach me. You can reach me by using the Canvas messaging system over here on the left where it says inbox. You can call my office. This will forward to my cell phone. Make sure if you do leave a message to leave your name, your class, the CRN, and maybe your phone number so I can call you back if I need to. If you have questions on the problem sets that we work with, you're going to be using this button called the Ask My Instructor button. I'll show you that shortly. But this is nice because it will send me a copy of the question that you're working on, so you don't have to type everything out again. All right, but regardless of how you contact me, I will respond by the next business day. So If you write me on Friday, I can't guarantee that I'll get to you back on Friday, but I'll definitely get back to you on Monday. Okay? The earlier in the day, you're better. I usually can respond to people on Friday if they reach out to me early in the day. I do have some office hours this semester. So on campus, I'll be there Tuesdays right after class, Wednesdays and Thursdays, same time. And I also have some online Zoom hours. These are by appointment. So if you want to schedule a time with me, just send me an email and we'll set up a time to meet on Zoom. And if I have a bunch of other students that want to meet, we'll have to organize a time that works for all of us, um, so that we can um, be more efficient. All right. And when you do set up a time and you want to meet me, all you got to do is click this Zoom with instructor button at our scheduled time, and Zoom will open and you'll be in the room chatting with me. I made this little section on what to expect, mainly because of summer, but it actually is kind of helpful for a regular term class. Um, this is a 5 unit course, so, and it's math. It's 21A, which is it's calculus. It's a difficult course. It's going to be a lot different than what you're used to. A lot of work. Um, so there is a lot of hours. These are the estimates for the number of hours you're going to want to designate to the course. If you break it down by week, we're looking at between 10 to 15 hours per week of work. Okay. So I'll let you read through that if you want. As far as course materials, these buttons aren't showing up. Let me exit the student view. There we go. So in order to access all the content for the course, you need to have a desktop or laptop computer running Mac OS or Windows. So one of these two. So Chromebooks won't work. Um, iPads won't work. It has to be running one of these two OSs. Also, you're going to want to have a mobile device like a phone. It needs to be either iOS or Android, one of those two. We're going to be submitting um, our lecture work um, using our phones or mobile devices. So you'll want to have that as well. For your exams, we have one type of calculator that we can use, the TI-30X2S. It's about 10 bucks. You can purchase it online there. You can probably also find it at Staples. We're going to be using a program called MyLab, and you need to have 18-week access. It's about $75. However, if you don't have the money today, you can actually get free 14-day access. The instructions are in the Getting Started module for that. In any case, everyone needs to be registered on the first day, either fully paid or with that grace, that 14-day free temporary access. All right. So if you're not registered by the first day, um, you can be dropped from the class. Okay. So you need to take care of this tomorrow, Monday. Remember, this is a distance ed class. Yes, we meet on campus on Tuesdays, but we're actually working throughout the week. All right. So take care of that. It does come with a digital version of our text, and I'll show you what that looks like shortly. I'll be sending out a bunch of announcements in Canvas, so make sure to read those within 24 hours. And okay, so let's talk about the assignments. We have lecture notebooks, we have problem set notebooks, and exams. So I put lecture notebooks in red because this is going to be somewhat new to you, and it's actually really important. So because we only meet for 2 hours and 15 minutes for a 5 unit course, it's not nearly enough time for me to go through all of the information, all the theory, and go through all the examples that would be sufficient to prepare you for your homework and for exams. It's just not enough time. So because of that, we're going to be using a flipped classroom model. Essentially what that means is I'm going to be assigning lectures for you guys to watch at home. Don't worry, they're shorter lectures. They cover the core material um, and the core examples. And in class, we're going to just be working through a ton of problems. And the idea with class time is those problems are going to help you prepare for our exam. All right, so think of every single day that we meet as preparation for our exams. All right, so it won't be boring. You won't be listening to me talk the whole time. All right, so per Ventura drop policy, you can miss no more than 5 lecture notebooks. So as you're watching these lectures, you're going to be submitting these notebooks. And if you miss 5 or more, that's it. That's grounds for being dropped from the class. You got to stay on top of those. All right. So as far as submitting your lecture notebooks, these are the requirements. Make sure you read through this carefully. I'll post an example here so you can see what a good one looks like. It looks like I didn't put an example in there, but I will. Yeah. All right. So I know it's a pain watching lectures at home. I've done lectures on video and it's kind of a pain, but so is driving to campus, twice a week for 2.5 hours and driving back home. So try and remember that, yeah, we got to watch these things, but we only have to drive to campus once a week. Only sit in the class for 2 hours and 15 minutes. Um, so, and the lecture work that I'm giving you at home is actually less time. Uh, you're probably looking at about uh, hour to hour and 15 worth of lecture to watch per week. You're going to be taking notes while you're doing that. All right. So we did kind of narrow it down to the basics. And so you're not spending any extra time. You're actually spending less time than your fully on-campus student equivalents. Okay, so time-wise, you guys have a better deal. All right. All right. So make sure you read through that. I'll be posting an example of what they should look like, but just make sure you read through this carefully. Okay. So problem sets. We're going to be doing a bunch of problem sets in MyLab. The cool thing about these is you can do them as many times as you like up until their due date. So we have assignments that are due pretty much Tuesdays and Thursdays. So pretty much 2 sections per week. However, there are a few weeks we're going to do a little more than that. But in general, about 2 sections per week. All right. Same with the lecture notebooks. Those are due Tuesdays and Thursdays. Okay, so we got our first one due this Tuesday. So we want to take care of that. Now, as you're working these problem sets, you're going to be writing out your written work. And we call this a problem set notebook. For every problem that you do in MyLab, you're going to be writing out your written work, and here are the instructions for that. That's what you need for full credit. Now, you're not going to be submitting these to me until the midterm. Okay, so these technically aren't due until exam 1. However, your problem sets close every Sunday. So there's really nothing, you can't go back and look at them again. So you have to do your problem set notebooks on a weekly basis or you'll be locked out. Okay. By the way, you can't really do the problem sets without writing out your problem set notebooks. This is the work for these problems. So you're going to want to do both at the same time. All right. And then we do have a couple exams I mentioned. You can use that TI-30X2S calculator. You are allowed to use a single page of notes. You can write on one side, but you can't write out any worked out problems. I'll be talking more about that later. We call this a cheat sheet. You can use pencils and erasers, and that is it. So you're going to be graded on the quality of your arguments. This is calculus. It's a different animal compared to basic math and and algebra, where all we wanted was the answer. Now we want the argument. All right, so you're going to be graded on your arguments and your notation. And then if any part of your work is ambiguous or illegible, you won't receive credit for that part. All right, so those are our assignments. We do have some extra credit. I'm going to give up to 3% extra credit to students that display high participation in the course. This is going to be arriving to class on time and regularly taking part in classroom discussion. We're going to be having a lot of discussions in class on these problems. Okay, so the more you interact, the better. Due dates. So due dates are generally Tuesdays and Thursdays. However, every once in a while, you might have, some kind of emergency that prevents you from getting your work in on time. And that's okay. We do have the Sunday extensions. So on your assignments, if you ever have an emergency, you'll have until Sunday to get everything in without any penalty. Okay? Now, don't use it on a regular basis because I'm telling you that students that regularly use the extensions don't do well in this course. You need to stay on top of the assignments. You need to get your work in on Tuesdays and Thursdays. However, on the rare case where something does happen, it's kind of nice. There's no extensions beyond Sunday though, right? That is your late extension. So you can't have another extension. That's it. So be careful with that. Of course, your problem set notebooks, there's no extensions on those because those are due at the exams. Here's the weighting for the class. The class participation, that's that's extra credit. But everything else should add up to, yep, 100%. You can check your class grade at any time. Let me switch over to student view. I can't do it. Well, you can check your class grade at any time by clicking on the grades tab. You can read some instructions in there. Make sure you read through my policies. And professionalism. So, um, in academia, there's kind of a certain way that you want to interact with each other and with your instructors. So I'm going to help you with this because you guys, a lot of you are moving on to the university. I don't want to set you up or maybe not tell you something that might help you later on. So when you guys are addressing an instructor, you make sure you call him Mr., professor or professor. So let's do that this semester for practice. Also, when you send me an email, make sure you address me. And then I would read this link there for how to properly email an instructor, okay? Um, um, I know it seems like something little, but everything you can do, as you move through and take all these courses at the university, you want to set you up for the greatest chance of success. And you definitely don't want a professor on your bad side. All right, so I'm going to help you with that. Um, Also, as you move on from academia into your jobs, your careers, you want to get used to being able to communicate in whatever field you're in the appropriate way. And what I found through my experience teaching these classes, especially over the past couple of years, is there's a lot of issues I find with students not knowing how to communicate um, professionally in an email or even in person sometimes. And I don't necessarily blame the student for it. Maybe they weren't told. And so that's what I'm here for you to do. I'm going to help you. If you guys send me an email and it's inappropriate, or maybe it's just poor wording or it comes off as sloppy or something like that, I'm going to help you with that. I'm going to give you some constructive feedback, okay? And the purpose of this is to help you with your future success. All right? That's what I'm doing it for. All right, so course descriptions, you guys can read through that, the objective student learning outcomes. This is all accreditation stuff, so you can read through that. However, these dates are really important, especially these three right here. These are your drop dates. So pay attention to those because these could have an effect. Well, this has a financial effect, the refund. These two have an effect on your GPA. So make sure you pay attention to those. And then lastly, at the bottom, I have a bunch of contact information for the tutoring center. If you're so reach out to them. I would, since this is since you're taking Calc 1, this is a different animal compared to the other courses that you've taken. It's a difficult class. We're going to be learning a lot and you're going to want to get some help. So I would definitely reach out to the tutoring center, maybe even contact them now and figure out when they're available. Okay. Now, we do have an embedded tutor for this course that's going to be working with us specifically. So she might be your first kind of go-to. Um, Her name's Kelsey Skinner, I think Skinner. And she will be joining us in the classroom, and we will be organizing a time that works for most of you to meet with her. I believe it needs to be in person, so maybe we could do it after class on Tuesdays or I don't know. We'll figure out a time. that works. I'll probably be sending out a survey soon on that. And yeah, I'm excited to work with you. I hope you guys are too. Um, so she'll be there every day in class. But outside of that, we also have other tutors, so you can contact them to figure out what their availability is. If you're a student with the AC, if you're a student with disabilities, make sure you reach out to them, read this. For Canvas technical support, you're going to click there. For MyLab technical support, follow those instructions. And if you have issues with the bookstore, you can contact them there. Okay, that is our syllabus. Let's go back and student view. And I'm going to show you around Canvas, probably another 10 minutes, and we'll be done. All right, so over on the left, this is called the navigation panel. If you click there, that's how you meet with me in Zoom at a scheduled time. This is where all of our announcements for the course are at in reverse chronological order. This is a link to Wolfram Cloud. I'm not going to talk about this yet because it's just too much. You guys have a lot to deal with. Um, but this is basically a tool to help you with your homework, and I'll be sending out some information on that. You can check your grades there. Syllabus is there, and we're just going to use this button once, this Access Pearson. You only use it when you get registered in the Getting Started module right there. We're going to click that thing once, but once you're done with that, all of our assignments are located at the bottom here. There's our lecture with the lecture notebook. There's the problems with the problem notebook. All right. Okay. Over on the far left, you have some account settings. You have your courses here you can access. You have a calendar. Let's open that up to see what our due dates look like for the course. You can see that our orientation module, getting started module, all that stuff's due tomorrow night. And then we have assignments due Tuesday night and Thursday nights. Pretty much most of the semester, although there will be a couple days where we double up in order to fit everything in. And our exam is Wednesday, October 9th. Okay. All right, so let's back out of there. Let's over there, the course notifications. That's the way you can set up your notifications for the course so you're notified every time I post an announcement or you get a grade submitted. So I have you take care of that in the Getting Started module. Set up course notifications right there. All right, so let's look down below. Here's our textbook. I've organized the textbook so all the sections are in one place. It actually has Calc 1, Calc 2, and Calc 3. And it's an excellent textbook, the best I've seen. Let me show you why it's so great. Let me see if I can find a section. Let's go here. So in order to open these files, you're going to need that Wolfram player that I asked you to download in the Getting Started module. But once you have it, you can download the file. If you want, you could download all of these at the beginning of the semester. It's up to you. Open it up. And what this is it's an interactive text. But what's neat about it is you can do a lot of stuff with it. So first of all, you can change the magnification up here. You can open and close sections by clicking on them. I would advise you reading through the text in addition to watching the lectures. This is going to have more information in the lectures. But what I like about this is, let me see if I can find one. Here we go. Let's talk about power functions. This is in section 1.2, which is due Thursday. So on this little section right here, they want to illustrate what functions of this form called power functions look like. So hopefully most of you are familiar what the function y equals x squared looks like. But what about y equals x to the fourth? If we move this little slider, we can see what happens as the power increases to the next even number. So the idea is to play around with these to get a feeling Here's cubic ones. Let's see what happens there for how some of these things work. So it's very interactive. And there's a ton of these in here. See if I can find some more. Here's one. This one, it's asking you to zoom in and zoom out to take a look at things. Um, Here's a step function or piecewise function where you're finding slope, it looks like. So nice visual to help you with that. In any case, there's lots of those in there. And it's a great, great textbook if you really want to learn this course. All right, below that, introduction to Wolfram Cloud. If you want to take a look at it now, that's fine. I will be sending out some code to kind of help you guys so you can check your work, check your answers. It's not for doing your work. You definitely don't want to use the Wolfram Cloud to do your work for you. Then you're going to be in bad shape when the exam on exam day. So it's just to kind of check your work and verify your answers and graph things. Okay. But I'll be sending out some more information on that later. And here is our assignments. So here's our lectures. So let's take a look at the first lecture we're going to watch. So these are publisher provided professional lectures. They're organized by section. There's core theory and terminology and definitions in certain parts, and then examples. Now, the topics that are covered and the examples were specifically chosen to cover just about all of the problems, cover the material that you would need to know for all of the problems that you're going to be working in your MyLab problem sets. Okay, so this one's only 25 minutes, and I would say if I was doing this on campus, it'd be at least probably an hour and a half on this section. A lot of it's downtime, because I have to draw pictures on the board and taking roll and all that. So this is definitely more efficient, and um, I think they work pretty good. So you're going to be working through these, and there's the instructions there for uploading your lecture notebooks. Okay, so click there, and then you'll figure out how to submit those. And remember, you can only miss 5. If you miss more than that, it's ground for being dropped. All right. Here's your problem sets. So when you click there, this is going to open MyLab. Why is it not working? Oh, I know why I'm in student view. Okay, there we go. All right. First time to open takes a little time. All right, so here's our problems. This is section 1.1, which is review of functions. There's going to be a lot of review in here, the main stuff that we're going to need for calculus. So let's see. You'll notice the first few questions are mainly conceptual type questions. Remember, you can redo these problems as many times you like. I found that some students will just do this, click something, click check. That's about the worst way you can do this course. You're not going to have any fun. You'll get some points for your problem set, but there's no way that you're going to do well in the exam if you don't actually read through this and try and work through these. So don't waste your time doing that. Actually, you want to make sure that you think through all of these problems because your exam is going to be like these problems and you won't be able to click through on exam. Your exams are written and you'll have to know what you're doing for them. All right, so our first few problems are more um, conceptual. However, later on, let's skip over to 25 here. Now we've got some problems that are going to require some work. So remember, as you are working, as you're trying to solve this, you're going to be writing out your work in your problem notebooks. Remember, and you're going to be submitting them to me at exam one. And I'll be kind of checking these because I'm going to see you guys on Tuesday. So I'll be reminding you of this throughout the semester and maybe checking them as we go to see how you're doing. All right. So, what else? Oh, down here, you'll notice that we have some um, templates for entering math notation. Like here's square root, there's the infinity symbol, there's an ordered pair. So there's a lot of stuff, that you can't type using a keyboard. So you just press one of those buttons to help you. Over on the bottom left here, you have a help me solve this button, which will kind of help you with this problem, but then you don't get credit for it. You have to do another one. But I like this one, view an example. This will post a problem that looks very similar to the one you're being asked, and it'll work you through it step by step, kind of like how you'd want to do it on an exam. So if you kind of work through this, it'll tell you what to do. And then you're done. And then you'll have enough information to do this problem. Not every problem has view an example, but most of them do. Now, let's say you get to a problem and you're stuck. You don't understand the view an example, or maybe there isn't one, and you would like some help from me. Well, here's what you do. You click Ask My Instructor. This will send me a copy of this question to me. Uh, uh, and then you could say, hi, Mr. McCain. Um, I work this problem and I'd like help. How do I figure out what the domain is? And then I'll respond with an answer. All right. By the next business day. All right. Usually I can get to them on the same day. I only say the next business day because you never know. But I'm really fast at getting back to my students. All right. So the more you do, the more credit you get, and you'll see your score increase as you go. All right. I know that's a lot of problems, but a lot of them are conceptual, and this is a review. I know some of this isn't going to feel like review, but do your best. All right, let's go back, see what else we got. Just about done. All right, we're going to be working through chapters 1 through 5. Below that, you're going to see a module on prepping for your exams. This is getting your problem set notebooks ready. This is building your cheat sheet. These are the objectives that we're learning for each of the exams. So look at all these objectives. There's a lot of stuff we're going to be learning. This is just for exam one. These are all the things that you need to know how to do. All right. It's a lot, but we'll get there. All right. So there's exam two. Resources. Okay, so we do have some resources for you. This is for writing out handwritten work. Make sure you read that and work on I'll be talking about this in class, by the way. And here's some important formulas. And we'll skip over that. We'll talk about that later. So I think that's about it. So, yeah, I think that's it. All right, so class officially begins tomorrow, Monday. I would get started, um, finish up, the getting started module, and then I would start on that lecture notebook as soon as possible. I think that's it. I will be sending out announcements throughout this week. And yeah, I think that's it. Okay, guys, so we will